Hello, this is the class of Writing Task 2. From this class, we'll begin talking about Writing Task 2. We have already done Writing Task 1, and we have learned that there are two tasks in IELTS, Writing Section, Writing Task 1, and Writing Task 2. And in Writing Task 1, you are given certain visuals, and in Writing Task 2, you are asked to write an essay. Okay. So in this class, we'll talk about be-back approach. We'll talk about topic and task questions. We'll talk about categories of IELTS essays, and we'll also talk about parts of the questions. So we'll try to do things slowly because writing tasks are they are formal and technical, and that's why they are sensitive. Okay, so I must slow down my pace here, and I need to tell you about everything that's in the question and how to write the answer. Okay, now we'll follow this. So we have, first of all, we have our be back approach. Now, as you get the question in IELTS exam, and as you read the question of Writing Task 2, so what do you do at that time? Do you read the question and start writing the answer? Or do you read the question, think about the answer, and start writing the answer? Or the next one is, do you read the question, make a rough plan, and write the answer according to your plan? So the third one may be appropriate. But before that, after reading the question, the first thing that you need to do is you need to understand the question. Okay. Let's see what is it about. Be back approach. I want you to make notes of important points. Okay. So this is a be back approach that we are talking about. The first B is best understanding of the question. For example, this is your question, IELTS question. Honestly, your IELTS Writing Task 2 question doesn't look like this, but let's begin with a basic question. So if this is the question, write an essay on the positive and negative effects of social media. So the first thing you need to do is best understanding of the question. So what does this mean? Underline the keys. Now keys means keywords. Okay. What is the task? Do not write about entire modern technologies. So this question just want you to write about social media. Now, in this case, if you start writing about the innovation of technologies and the internet and 1990s and everything about IBM and Microsoft, then this will be a mistake. This will be known as a deviation from the topic. Okay, so you must focus on what the topic is. In this case, the topic is about social media, so you must only write about the positive and negative effects of social media. And the next one is backstaging. After you have understood the question and underline the keywords. Now, what are the keywords? Let's see. After you have understood the question, you need to underline or circle the keywords. In this case, we have positive and negative effects of social media. So these are the important keywords here. Okay. After you have done this, you will go to the next step, and that is backstaging. Now backstaging means what happens behind the stage. What happens behind the stage? You do not see what happens behind the stage. The stage is your answer, the essay you write, but what happens behind the stage is very important. So what happens there? You plan and you brainstorm. Let's see some points here. Okay, so the first thing you do is you plan your paragraphs, you plan the number of sentences. Yes, you will plan the number of sentences as well. You'll brainstorm the ideas and do it below the question on the paper. So let's assume that okay, so let's assume that this is your question paper, and here you have your question. So you will make a plan of your answer below the question. Okay, you'll make a plan. So what sort of plan? We will talk about everything about planning in class 3 or 4, so you do not worry about that. Let me make a rough sketch of planning. So writing about the positive and negative effects of media. So in your planning, what you can do is you can just plan what positive thing you are going to write and what negative thing you are going to write. How are you going to explain the positivity and how are you going to explain the negativity? So you can plan everything in the paper, okay, on the paper. So brainstorming ideas, we'll talk about this in class 2, class 3. And the next one is A. A means answering. Now, answering means writing your answers. So, what do you do? Write according to your plan. Okay, you need to write your answer according to your plan. Pencil is recommended. Okay, you can use pen in writing section. You cannot use pen in reading and listening section. But you can use pen in writing section. However, I recommend pencil because if you make error, you can simply erase it and overwrite it. Handwriting may not be beautiful, but must be legible. The examiner must understand what you have written. Okay, and after answering, we come to CK, and that is checking. We need to check. We need to review what we have written. Checking is the most important part. Okay, this is the post answering part. Check after you have written. Indeliberate mistakes reduce band scores. So indeliberate means not knowingly. Mistakes done unknowingly. Okay, we do not commit mistakes knowingly, but there are certain indeliberate mistakes. For example, spelling errors, article omissions, punctuation omissions. There are different mistakes that we commit while we write. So we must check our answer. Indeliberate mistakes reduce band scores. I want you to memorize this thing. Okay, memorize this. If you cannot remember this, indeliberate mistakes reduce band scores. Okay, so let's go to one of the real questions of IELTS essay. Let's read this question. The crime rate among teenagers has increased dramatically in many countries. Discuss some possible reasons for this increase and suggest solutions. So here we find that there is a question, what is the task, right? What is the task? Now we have begun our class and I want you to understand everything, every little thing. That's why I will reduce my pace and I will try to make you understand each and every technicalities of these answers. So what is the task? After we read the question, we must separate the topic and the task. Each essay question has a topic and a task. Okay, so in this case, let's see what the topic is. In this case, we have the topic here. The crime rate among teenagers has increased dramatically in many countries. So a topic is a general statement. Okay, a general statement. It can be a fact, it can be an opinion. So this general statement is the topic. And tasks means work means something you have to do. In this essay, what do you have to do? You have to do this. You have to discuss some possible reasons. You have to discuss some possible reasons for this increase, and you also need to suggest solutions. So what you need to do in this essay is you need to discuss the reason for this and the solution for this. Reason for teenage crime, reasons behind the increment of teenage crimes, and how can we solve it. So this is the task and this is the topic. Okay, now that we have understood topic and task, the next thing is do not deviate from the topic. Again, in this question just talks about teenage crime. Now if you start talking about terrorism and all about ISIS and America's invasion of Iraq and everything about Syria, if you start talking about those crimes relating to terrorism, then that is also known as deviation from the question, deviation from the topic. Okay, so in this case you just need to talk about teenage crimes. So this is what we call by saying a best understanding of the question. So these two things are very important. As you read the question, you need to understand the question, underline or circle the keywords, and separate the topic and the task. You need to understand what the task is. Okay, this is the most important step. Okay, let's see. Let's move on. So we have another question here. Now I want you to separate topic and the task. What is the topic in this question? What is the topic? What is the topic and the task? You can pause the video if you want. Okay, good. So this is the topic. Many people are going abroad for higher studies. This is the topic till here. And after this, advantages and disadvantages of this trend. This is the task. In this case, we need to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this trend. Now, what is the trend? The trend is here. Many people are going abroad for higher studies. Okay, so this is the topic, and the last sentence is the task. And here we need to talk about people going abroad for higher studies. Now here we are not talking about people going abroad for labor. Now you cannot talk about Nepalese people going to Dubai, Qatar, right, for labor and sending remittance. If you discuss something like this, then this is again deviation from the topic. So the first step you have is best understanding of the question. Now this thing seems to be trivial, small, or let's say these are small talks, but this is the most important thing that you must know, because most of the students make mistakes here. They do not understand the topic and they go off topic, they lose marks, and later they question, I had written well, but how didn't I get marks in writing section? This is the reason you don't get marks, because you don't understand the question at first. Okay, now uh, so let's talk about parts of questions. In parts of questions, we have question statements, that is the topic I just talked about, and tasks. There are question statements and tasks. So in question statements, you can find a factual statement or an opinion, or you can find both of them depending upon the tasks. Okay, let me give you an example here. Here it is. So let's deal with the first question. Take your time. Let's deal with the first question. So what is the topic here? Government should focus on railways rather than roads. This is the topic, and this is the task. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So the task asks for your opinion, right? And we have a topic here. What does the topic say? Says a government should focus on railways rather than roads. Now this is giving an opinion. This topic is giving an opinion. It says government should focus on railways. Now you may say, no, government should first focus on roads and then it should focus on railways, right? And your friend may say, no, they should focus on railways and then roads. See, these are the opinions, and opinions differ from person to person. Okay, so in this case, this is the topic, and this topic is an opinion, and this is a task. Let's come back to this case. Now, in this case, we find that the task talks about discussing reasons and solutions of this scenario. So what does this say? The crime rate among teenagers has increased dramatically in many countries. This is a fact, right? This is a fact. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. And but in this case, it says government should focus. So if any statement says government should do this, you should do that, you should do this, then that becomes an opinion. Now if I tell you that this is a digital board, then this is a fact, because this is a digital board, right? But if I tell you this is the best digital board ever found in the market, now this becomes my opinion, because you have the right, you have the privilege to disagree with me. You can say that, no sir, I found another board more effective than this one, right? So the second sentence is my opinion. So in this case we have an opinion and a task. Let's come to this case. See, the first thing is, if you find this statement, do you agree or disagree? That means this is asking for your opinion. And obviously, if there is only one statement here as a topic, then obviously this is going to be the opinion. Okay, let's say increasing the price of petrol is the best way to solve growing traffic and pollution problems. So this statement says, in order to reduce traffic and pollution, one need to increase the price of petrol. But you may disagree with that. You may say, no, increasing the price of petrol won't work. There must be a strict rule for the vehicles, right? So there are different opinions for this, and this is one of the opinion. So in this topic, we find that in this question statement, we found there is an opinion, there is not any fact, and there is a task. Okay. Now we'll talk about categories of IELTS essays. Okay, so you must have heard about types of IELTS essays. There are no any types of IELTS essays. Let me make you clear. There are no any types of essays. There are only categories, and there are three categories of essays and 3+1. I won't say it four categories. I will say 3+1 because these mixed essays are the mixture of these essays. Okay, so there are three categories of essays. The first one is opinion essays, second one is discussion essays, third one is discussion opinion essays. Now I think rather than learning 7, 8, 9 types of essays, made up types of essays, it will be easier for you to learn three categories, right? So let's see an example of this. Okay, so here we have our example of opinion essays. In this essay question, we find question statements and tasks. So first of all, let's count how many question statements are there. How many question statements are there? How many? Let's say, in some nations an increasing number of people are suffering from health problems, fast food, here's a full stop. So there's one sentence here, and it is therefore necessary for governments to impose a higher tax. Next sentence is here. So two question statements, and this is the task. What is this? This is the task. Okay, so as I told you before, let me get back to this one. In question statements, we can find a fact, we can find an opinion, and after that we'll find a task in our question. I have told you, you may only find a fact and a task. You may only find, for example, in this case, a fact and a task, right? You may only find an opinion and a task. In this case, in these cases, opinion and a task. Or you may find both fact and opinion and a task, as in this case. Now I want you to read this question. So we're discussing opinion essays, right? And I was talking about facts, factual sentences, fact, opinions, and tasks. And let me tell you that you will find, you will find opinion sentence in opinion essays. And how do you know that it is an opinion essay? By looking at the task. See, if the task says, to what extent do you agree or disagree, then this is going to be your opinion essays. And in this opinion essays, you will find an opinion in the topic. That's 100%. But sometimes there can be two sentences, and if there are two sentences, then one will be a fact and another will be an opinion. Okay, so in this case, you can simply read it and find which one is the fact and which one is the opinion. So the first sentence is a fact. Yes, there are people suffering from health problems. Yes, there is no any deny with this sentence. But the second one gives the opinion. It says, in order to reduce this issue, government should impose a high tax on this kind of food. So I may not agree with that. I may say, no, by imposing tax, the problem cannot be mitigated. There must be a strict rule, or there must be awareness campaign launched, okay, in order to reduce the consumption of fast food. So this is the first sentence is a fact, and the second sentence is an opinion, and this is a task. Now you may start panicking, oh, how to do these types of questions. So don't worry about it. In class 2 we will specifically deal with this question. Okay, just understand the question in this class, just understand and just divide this statements with the task, and just know which one is the fact and which one is the opinion. Now in this case, if you do not know which one is the fact and opinion, for example, let's assume that you thought that this is an opinion: increasing number of people are suffering from health problems. To what extent do you agree? So you may answer, I do not, I agree with this, increasing number of people are suffering from health problems. And if you write this, then that will be a mistake, because nobody wants you to agree or disagree with the fact, right? If I say this is a digital board, then I don't think any sane people in the world will disagree with me. Nobody will disagree with a fact, right? So you must understand this is an opinion, and with this opinion you need to agree or disagree. So you need to agree whether by imposing a higher tax this problem will be mitigated, or you need to disagree that this will not be an appropriate solution. So it is important, it is essential, it is prominent, it is crucial, it is vital for you to separate the fact statement with the opinion statement. Okay, let's go to another question. Discussion essays. Now in discussion essays we have questions like this: discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this trend, discuss the cause and solutions, discuss the cause and consequence. So in discussion essays you do not have any opinion statements. There may be some exceptions, but most of all you don't have any opinion statements. There is only one statement in the topic. So this is a factual statement, and the essay wants to discuss on the factual statement. You do not discuss on the opinion, you discuss on the factual statement. Okay, so you need to give you need to write about the advantages and disadvantages of reading ebooks rather than paper books. So this is a discussion essays, and in this essay you are not going to give your opinion. In this essay, in opinion essay, you need to give your opinion, but in discussion essays you will not give your opinion. Let's go to the next one, and that is discussion opinion essays. Discussion opinion essays. The task of discussion opinion essays always look like this: discuss both sides and give your opinion. The tasks, let me repeat, the task of discussion opinion essays always looks like this: discuss both sides and give your opinion. So in this question there will be two opinions. You need to discuss both the opinions, and you also need to say with which opinion you agree with. Okay, let's look at the question. There seems to be an increasing number of serious, there are two topic statements. Okay, this is the first one. There seems to be, okay, so this is the first one. There seems to be an increasing number of serious crimes committed each year, and this is a fact, right? Now we have our statement here. Some people think, our opinion here, some people think the best way to use is to use death penalty as a deterrent. Others think other measures will be needed. So in this question, what we found is, first of all, we're given a fact. The fact is increasing number of serious crimes are committed each year, right? Crimes, the number of crimes, the number of crime has increased, and so what can be done to reduce the number of crime? Some people think that the criminal should be given a death penalty. So some people think, that means the first opinion, and others think that other measures will be needed. So there are two sort of people here. The first people think that death penalty should be given, and others think that no, death penalty should not be given, other measures should be applied. So you need to discuss both these opinions, and you also need to write which opinion you agree with. Okay, you need to state your position. So this is discussion opinion essays. Do not panic, we'll talk about this in an entire class. And there's another, that is mixed essays, right? This is mixed essays. Now mixed essays means the mix of these tasks. So it can there can be two tasks in this question. Let's see: increasing the price of petrol is the best way to solve traffic and pollution problems. The first task is, to what extent do you agree or disagree? See, this is an opinion task, right? And after that, you'll have another task, and that is discuss other measures that you might think be effective. So you must give your opinion and you must discuss as well. So this is a mix of opinion and discussion question. Okay, we'll deal with all these questions one by one. So this is the end of class 1, and in class 2 we'll talk about opinion essays. We'll specifically talk about these essays. Before talking about these essays, we'll talk about writing an introduction, and after that we'll go to opinion essays.